Hello and welcome back to my channel where I'm a futurist and this is my journal. I hope everyone listening is doing well, and if this is your first time here, welcome. This is going to be a short one, a relatively short one, just kind of discussing everything that's going on in this crazy world we live in this crazy time we live in. So without further ado, let's just get into it. So I'm going to cover the impeachment trial directly in a different video, because there's certain things that I feel like aren't really being discussed, and there's certain things that I think we should talk about. But right now I want to talk about the NAACP, no, not the NCAA, National Collegiate Athletic Association, the NAACP. If you don't know who they are, just go look them up. You know, it's not that difficult. It's Black History Month. You should at least know that. I mean, come on, at least know that one. But the NAACP is filing a lawsuit against Donald Trump and his personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. Under the specific law they're saying that was that's grounds for this lawsuit is the Enforcement Act of April 1871, or in other words, it's called the Ku Klux Klan Act. Enforcement Act, which basically is just summing it up, is basically saying anyone who is trying to interfere with any kind of governmental process or any governmental processes through intimidation, fear, or death threats, etc., will be punished or can be met with military violence. So that's what they're really that's what they're trying to file under. Now, also, Representative Benny Thompson, a Democrat of Mississippi, is also filing a lawsuit on Tuesday against Donald J. Trump and others over the January 6th riot at the Capitol. So this is why, I mean, this is kind of ridiculous at this point. The impeachment was already ridiculous and unconstitutional, and I'm not even discussing I'm not even challenging the narrative as to what actually happened and who actually knew what was going to happen or any of that. I'm only following the highly convoluted, highly fake, highly, really just kind of the narrative that's being played and portrayed to us so that we kind of feel a certain way and understand a certain way. And another thing is, like, why can't we just kind of let this go? Why can't we just kind of let this die? And I'm going to discuss that a little bit more with the impeachment, because that's just so interesting, and it's so hypocritical and double standards and yada, yada, yada. But there's a reason why I don't think that this lawsuit will go through. I don't think it will be awarded in the NCAA's favor. I think it's another political ploy. I think it's really foolish, to be honest. And the reason why is, I read through the fine print. I read through what they're saying. I read through, and I'm projecting of how they're going to argue, what the grounds are going to be. For the Representative Benny Thompson, he's most likely going to file for an intentional infliction of emotional distress, which is a tort, which is basically just personal injury in some way, shape, or form. That's your non-criminal assault, non-criminal battery, and things of that nature. So that's what he's most likely going to file under. And this is all coming because Senator Mitch McConnell, his words were basically that Trump is still responsible, although that they didn't have jurisdiction to impeach Trump, that he's still morally responsible, and basically opening the door for others to file lawsuits against him. And you know what? I'm not even going to talk about Mitch right now, but I am going to talk about how foolish this lawsuit truly is. So again, I was reading through the fine print, and the reason why they had to file a lawsuit against both Donald Trump and his lawyer is because this act requires two or more to conspire to basically enact their will against a government process, such as an election, such as on January 6th, obviously, the certification of electoral college votes. So that's why they have to kind of compile them too. But that's where I think the issue lies. Now, Rudy, I didn't listen to the full speech or what he said exactly, but I did see a clip, although you have to be careful with clips because that does not paint the full story. I did see a clip where he said something about trial by combat, which I think is pretty foolish to say. I don't know the context, so take that with a grain of salt. Got to do a little bit more research on that end. But specifically, I think they're going to lose this because of what they're going to say that Donald Trump did. They're going to say he incited violence, like they said before. I'm not even comparing him to other political leaders who have actually incited violence, but with Trump, he didn't say that. You know what? I'm actually going to play you a clip of everything that he said. Now, at a certain point, they clip it and they remove a certain piece of what he said for the purpose of painting a certain narrative. But I want you to listen to the full clip, and especially to the last words, and I think that's going to be huge.
We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here we're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women, and we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them, because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong. We have come to demand that Congress do the right thing and only count the electors who have been lawfully slated. Lawfully slated. I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. Today we will see whether Republicans stand strong for integrity of our elections, but whether or not they stand strong for our country.
Did you hear that, though? Did you hear that? Peacefully and patriotically. So it's not just that he didn't incite violence, but he's actually enforcing one of our main amendments, our First Amendment right. So everyone wants to talk about the First Amendment, but let's actually read it. I actually have a copy of it right in front of me. So I'm going to go ahead and read it. I'm also going to put it on the screen so you can read it for yourself. But it says, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. So what Trump was saying was well within the rights of the First Amendment. Actually was clearly in the First Amendment. So he said, go make your voices be heard. What is that? That's basically petitioning the government for a redress of grievances. And they were, for the most part, until, I'm not even going to get into it, but until, let's just say, S hit the fan, they were exercising their right to peaceably assemble, to protest. That is well within their right. And you can't say that he incited violence. And specifically, I'm going to read this line to you because I think this is going to be huge in what they're going to try to use for their case. Or shall conspire together for the purpose of in any manner impeding, hindering, obstructing, or defeating the due course of justice in any state or territory with intent to deny to any citizen of the United States the due and equal protection of the laws, or to injure any person in his person or his property for lawfully enforcing the right of any person or class of persons to the equal protection of the laws, or by force, intimidation, or threat to prevent any citizen of the United States lawfully entitled to vote from giving his support or advocacy in a lawful, I'm assuming, it kind of cuts off there, I don't know why, but I'm assuming it's going to say a lawful manner or something along the lines. So what that's basically saying is that no one can, you know what, you basically know what that is. It doesn't require much explanation, is that no one can hinder, prevent, or threaten, intimidate, or by force or otherwise prevent any citizen lawfully entitled to vote from giving his or her support in an election of some sort. So what they're going to try to say is that Trump and Gulani conspired together to get this mob to go over to incite violence, to stop through threat or through physical force, to stop and prevent the certification of the Electoral College's votes to be obviously certified. So, and I just played the clip for you. I just played the clip. That if they do that, they're attacking specifically the First Amendment, which is already under attack because, big tech and cancel culture and all that nonsense, which I'll discuss probably later this week because it just keeps continuing. It's ridiculous. But I think I'm going to cut it here. I think you kind of get the gist of it. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and it's a political ploy. And we need to understand that everything isn't what it seems. And surrounding this event, we had a police officer, one, maybe two, a police officer commit suicide. All I know is that the truth is where the bodies start to line up. Where the bodies are is where the truth is. So that'll be discussed at a later time. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free. Actually, please, it'll help me out. Leave a like rating if you enjoyed it, obviously. And subscribe. Yeah. Send to your friends. Send to family members. And because this is a conversation we should be having. And it's not in defense of anyone specifically, but it's also not saying that it's calling out bullcrap. Like, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This is foolish. And it's part of a political ploy that I'll discuss later. So again, leave a like rating, comment what you think, if you agree or disagree with me. Please subscribe and turn on notifications so you know when I drop another video discussing anything and everything under the sun, because that's what we do here at the Futurist Journal. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you're staying safe, but most importantly, friends, stay awake, because woke is not working. All right, guys. Cheers.